Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you have your cup of tea. Welcome. We are about to discuss something that may be helpful for you if you suffer from anxiety, if you suffer from depression, if you find yourself falling into old repeating thought patterns. Today, I'm going to share a simple circuit breaker, or what I like to call the circuit breaker. As we journey through life, we have been conditioned. Even before we're born into the world, it can be a generational, ancestral conditioning that comes in. Something that we work very hard on is to become very aware of our thought patterns as we go on the journey for ultimate health and healing. It is one of the things that we have to do in order to step into our health and well-being. When we do that, we can actually become quite shocked at the things that are on repeat. We can recognize that we are our own bully. We can recognize that we talk terribly to ourselves all day, every day. There's many different thoughts that can come in throughout the day. But what we are is one big circuit. Our emotions, our energy, all has this circuit. It needs to keep moving. That's what emotions are, energy and motion. They come from impressions in our energetic body, on our psyche, from different experiences throughout our lifetime. What happens after that impression's been made on our psyche is when we come into similar situations that replicate that previous experience, it sends us into a spiral. Why? Because we haven't been taught how to release the previous impression. We haven't been taught how to process our emotions. In society, we're told how to toughen up, how to be strong, how to not cry. You know, it's not appropriate for men to cry. It's not appropriate for women to cry. This is all language of our soul. Tears are language of our heart. It is the body's way of releasing the pressure that is inside. So what we find is, as an adult or whatever age you are as you're listening to this, is experiences in our everyday life replicate previous experiences. So whenever we react to anything, it's not because that moment in time is the first time we've come into awareness with it or into the same field as it. It is enticing something from within us that has been there for a very, very long time. So if you can imagine, the circuit is we have got an impression or a bruise on the energetic body, on the psyche. We come into a similar situation and somebody pushes that bruise. That's the reaction. That's when we go, we either keep it inside, but ultimately we've lost ourselves inside, we're imploding, or we explode. So one of the things that I like to share is awareness is key on many, many different levels. First of all, to just recognize what it is going on within our body. We are here to help activate our own self-healing. We seek that with help of others, absolutely. We seek it in different ways, modalities, methods, etc. But ultimately, we are the ones responsible for our own healing. Awareness leads us in the direction we need to go. It leads us into the source of the problem. So becoming aware of when we react and to what will start to take us on our journey. This is the journey we all talk about. It's starting to take us down that path inside of all the traumatic events. They may be small, they may be huge, but it starts to take us gently into that path to let go of the weight. I invite us all to become very aware of when we feel a particular symptom or feeling. Our reaction is always enticed by a feeling or a symptom. That might be someone has passed comment on something and it's hit a nerve. It's hit a nerve inside. Okay, that's the symptom. Quickly followed by the symptom is the reaction. That can take you into fear. It can take you into resistance. Oh, stop. Oh my God, I need to say something. I need to share my view, or don't come near that topic because there's something inside of me that doesn't want to go there. Okay. It could be judgment. There might be an action of someone that you have seen and you didn't like, it didn't resonate with you, and then it'll take you into judgment. There's so many different scenarios that this circuit can go, depending on what we have inside of us. Each of us are made very differently and very similarly at the same time. So when we have the symptom within us, we need to become acutely aware, because this is where we pop in our circuit breaker. Instead of going round the same pattern as we've done for many years, following the trauma, such as the fear or the judgment, and then that takes us into the anxiety circuit. Instead, we need to put in a little circuit breaker that takes us, elevates us into a different circuit. But the symptom and the feeling is our first point. When we feel that, we instantly need to take ourselves from this circuit into this circuit. And that is won by simply asking for love. I know that sounds so simple and so ridiculous, but I invite you to try it. That could be when you are walking behind someone does an action in front of you. It's not to you, it's out from you. You don't necessarily know them. But that action would instigate judgment. Now that cycle might be a really, really old cycle within us. We need to take ourselves out of judgment. Judgment is toxic to the body. Just as toxic as fear. Just as toxic as resentment. All those emotions. Love is the opposite. Love is a circuit breaker for that old pattern. So if it's someone is acting and doing something that you don't like, or you don't agree with, or doesn't feel nice to you, because you empathize with maybe who the action is towards, either send yourself love or send them love. We don't need to say anything externally. We're energetic beings. We have a field of resonance, each and every one of us. But by being aware of our thought pattern and intercepting it with love, those people externally might continue to do the same actions, but ultimately it's not taking you in the circuit of toxicity and sickness within you. It's ultimately you not pressing that old bruise over and over and over again that has been there for many years. It's taking us into a new cycle that feels unfamiliar. Ooh, but it feels quite nice. This could be in your role at work. If you recognize you get quite anxious, you get out of body, you get all head, out of fear. Fear of the unknown. Oh my goodness, am I doing the right thing? Oh my goodness, that spiral. That's that old pattern on repeat. You may be able to recognize that this has been on repeat for many years. The symptom that you felt initially, remember that. What was it? Was it somebody asked you a question? Just a simple question. And in that fear of, have I done enough? There's the resistance. And we lose ourselves. We go into the fear. What does she think of me? Have I done the right job? Did I do the right thing? What happens if? How, oh my goodness, will this be escalated? Will I lose my job? How am I going to pay the bills, right? The old cycle, the old pattern. The awareness when that simple question arrived and we did feel uncomfortable, being aware that we felt uncomfortable, that it touched an old bruise, we instantly go, send me love. Send me love. Feel it. Be aware of how that makes you feel. Ask for it. You may not know whom or what you're asking from. That's okay. But ask for it. And recognize how that makes us feel. You may need to ask for it 15 times in a minute in the same scenario. That's okay. There's no competition here. It doesn't matter how often we have to ask for it. The most important thing is that we become aware of how do we take ourselves out of the old pattern and into a new pattern, into the new circuit. We want to break the old circuit and we want to elevate into a new circuit. And also what this brings in this moment of when we potentially could lose ourselves to our anxiety, to depression, to judgment, to the fear, to all these many, many, many scenarios that we can have. Ultimately, it brings us back into body by asking for love. It takes us out of here and brings us right back into the center of where love is felt in us. So I invite you to try. What's to lose? Try this simple technique. I do it personally all the time. It has helped me greatly. And I share this many times with many people who also have had great success. And it's just about navigating all this internal energy, simply energy. Everything's energy. We just need to understand what it's trying to tell us. So now it's time for a cup of tea and a sip. And quite interestingly, I have a cup of love by Pukka. So sending you much love today. It's going to be okay. We're never dealt things that we cannot cope with. It might feel like everything is impossible. I understand. I've been there. Sending so much love. Thank you for listening. And I will see you all again soon. Namaste.